Hi, I'm Ricky, and I'm black. Well, actually, I'm brown. I am from Brooklyn, New York. My family is from Guyana and Brazil.
Hi, I'm Nikki. My family is from Puerto Rico and some Cubans. I just really don't think race is defined by the color of your skin. I think that's more of a social construct. I think the societal view of interracial relationships really depends on where you are. In the South, which I didn't know because I'm from Virginia, but it's more, it's more northern and people don't really care. But here in the South, I remember the first time I went out in public with Ricky and we just held hands and people looked at us like, older white people were giving us like disapproving looks and, a group of black girls would look at me like I did something bad and I was shocked. I didn't understand why. And I think it's very feared here. And I don't, it's not that there's anything wrong, but I think it's just people are afraid of what's different. What matters the most in a relationship is the two people and the actual personalities and the feelings involved, not, the cultures. The connection between two people should be so strong that it can overcome any barriers. My mom, she has a really big problem with it. And she's told me, like, I think Ricky's a great guy, blah, 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 but I don't think you two should date. I don't want you two to have a future. It wouldn't work out. People would think this and this and this. Whereas my dad's like, oh, he's a nice guy. I don't care if he's purple or striped. And like he's with my sister and they're friends and they talk all the time. And so it's an interesting struggle within my own family.
At first, my mom was like slightly against it because she wanted me, honestly, she wanted me to date a black girl so that I wouldn't have to go through any like struggle. You know how like moms get protective or whatever. She didn't want me to like be viewed in public as like a bad thing. It's kind of like a new concept to her, like interracial dating, so it's just like she's still getting used to it, but she's getting better about it too. Even though our family can be sort of borderline racist sometimes, we actually have so many different cultures in our background and so many races.
We have so much in common though, it's really funny. Because I'll cook a Puerto Rican food and he's like, oh, we do that, we just call it this.
Yeah, like literally, she call it pupusas, I call it roti. She call it plantain. You call it plantain. It's plantain.
It's not plantain.
It's plantain.
Plantain.
Literally, it's plantain.
Plátano.
Oh God.
Anyway.
Changing everything.
We were talking about this the other day, like if we had kids, they'd be like Puerto Rican, Cuban, Guyanan, Brazilian.
Guyanese.
Mutts, essentially. This is a country where people came from all over the world to live here, and the mixing is going to happen whether you like it or not. And I think it's just, and you are now seeing more interracial couples in positions of power and, in the greater spotlight in the press and everything. And, I think it's important just to say like, hey, times have changed and we can continue to improve with our society.
You're seeing it more frequently than you would in the past. Like, you would see some, like, a interracial couple walking on the street. I went to the mall the other day and I actually saw about 10 interracial couples in like one day. And it's just like, you see it with more frequency and it's starting to become a normal thing.
I mean, my parents raised me not to judge a person by what they look like until I dated someone who didn't look like them. And like my mom's told me before, like she's like, oh, I don't have a problem with interracial dating, but I don't want it within my family. I want my grandkids to look like me. That's something very common you'll hear, people from that old school of thought saying. It's important for us to fight for this because, we shouldn't have to deal with these things. We shouldn't have to live in a world where people are confined or, controlled by something as trivial as an appearance. I'm proud to have to deal with it because I think it's made me a stronger person and it also challenges the people in my life, but even more importantly the people who aren't in my life and who maybe see us as an example or can use us for strength in their own lives if they're dealing with similar issues.
I love you.
I love you too.